Get your cameras ready. Led by Westland Wasp XT435, and on his left that beautiful Stinson Reliant, and on his right the raspberry engine from the Harvard, and then followed behind by the 4 Gazelles. Of course, we were hoping to have the Black Cats here this weekend, the official Royal Navy helicopter display team. But as a mark of respect to the Royal Navy helicopter display team and their colleagues within the Royal Navy, they're withdrawing from the International Air Show. And of course, we understand why, because of the incident in the Channel this weekend. We hope that everybody is looking forward to seeing the Black Cats understand the decision following that tragic incident in the English Channel earlier this week. But a fantastic way to open the flying display here today. Now watch, the Gazelles will peel off. They're going to head back, land, refuel, and they'll be back later on this afternoon. They're going to be displaying about 4:20 this afternoon. You can hear that rasping engine from the Harvard. That's the tip of the propeller going supersonic. Did some time in Harvard himself. They look big. Trust me, inside there's not a lot of room to move around. And my favourite aircraft up there is that Stinson. That is a beautiful, unique aircraft. Get your cameras ready, the aircraft are going to break. And we're going to be left with the Stinson doing his display. Ladies and gentlemen, the Navy wings. Looks like Wasp is staying center. Just confirmed by the flying display director. First up to display will be the rotary version of the Wasp. Now this particular helicopter served not just with the Navy, also with work I know with the armed forces. Because a lot of people recognise that the Wasp was the actual helicopter that the Iranian embassy siege was ended with. The SAS love to jump back with that. A friend of mine was flying that aircraft on the day, Captain Norman Lees. This aircraft is Wasp HPS-41, medium-range anti-submarine torpedo carrying version, powered by the Rolls-Royce Nimbus 103 turboshaft. Just over 1,000 horsepower, shaft horsepower. So not a lot of power as you compare with modern helicopters. Maximum speed at 120 miles an hour, but you'll probably be cruising near 190 miles an hour. As you can see, it's got that fixed landing gear. It's made it very stable on walking ships. Some people refer to it as the bedstead landing gear. It's on the bottom of your bed. But those 4 points make it very stable landing on rocking, moving boats. Can fly up to 12,000 feet, so clearly it has got a pressurized cabin. Crew of 1 pilot, but up to 4 can go on board. As I said, in its special forces role, they put skids on the outside. Commandos would sit on the outside. Also famous for some activities down in the Falklands campaign as well. The Wasp was historically a 5-seat aircraft, multi-role, designed originally for shipborne use, frigates and destroyers, introduced into service as the match system, medium-range anti-submarine torpedo-carrying helicopter, where a ship or a sonar-carrying helicopter detected a submarine. It was this aircraft's job to then bring the torpedo, the homing torpedo, or depth charges to that site. And at the time, it was a huge step forward for the Royal Navy to stand up weapon delivery capability. Also was in the training units to supply crews for the frontline 706 Squadron, between 65 and 67. You can see there's full backwards momentum as well. It was gradually replaced by the Wessex and Sea King. But it was a very effective submarine killer, and it was deployed with, as I said, Wessex and Sea Kings. With their radar, they dip the sonar in, find it, and Wasp would come over and deliver the package. This aircraft saw active operation service with the war in Argentina, broke out in 1982 on an invasion of Falklands. Several reserve frigates and their helicopters were recommended for active service in the South Atlantic. As I said earlier, you'll hear this rasping sound coming from the harbour. It's the tip of the propeller, not the engine making funny noises. Definitely hear it as it goes past you. So this particular aircraft is a T-6 trainer, powered by a Pratt & Whitney R1340 Wasp radial engine. That's 600 horsepower. Not a lot of horsepower in harbours. And this again helps the pilot to understand the relationship between speed and power. You'll notice now, as the harbour goes up into a barrel roll, he's rolling the aircraft around the top, and then he'll trade off that height for speed. Most of the aerobatic maneuvers that you'll see him do will be from height. He has to dive down, build the speed up, and then pull back on the stick. Cruises at about 200 miles an hour. Not really, I've been in them. Normally we've been tooting along about 150, 170, so that'd be the max power in a dive. That'd be close to its VNE. And you see what I mean, how he used that height to build up his speed. Now he's coming into a curved turn. Obviously, as a trainer, 2 seats. You've got a pilot, normally sitting, if he's an instructor, he'll be sitting in the back, with the pilot under instruction up at the front. The pilot primarily used to train fighter pilots, and then went on to fly much faster aircraft. This really teaches some valuable lessons, especially at slow speed. The harbour can really bite you very, very quickly if you don't keep the speed up. It's a very heavy aircraft, only 600 horsepower, so you have to constantly be looking at your airspeed indicator. Very nice loop. There are over 17,000 these aircraft built, either as harbours for the British and Commonwealth Air Forces. There was a version that the Navy, specifically the US Navy, used. They called them SNJs. Everybody else used to just call it Harvard with a hook. And the US Navy called them SNJs or T6s, Texans for the US Army. There is a new version of the Texan out now, which Raytheon built, and they've taken the name from this aircraft. It's a firm favourite for many pilots, and considering a number of aircraft still flying, even at Reno. If you go to the air races there, you'll see Harvard racing. So you want to go onto somewhere with a tail wheel on it, you need to have this. So Navy wings, they operate Swordfish and Sea Fury which is very, very fast version of the Spitfire. All of the pilots that do any training with Navy wings, they will go on to Harvard first and get substantial training on that before they're allowed anywhere near those more important aircraft. It's quite twitchy on the runway as well. I can vouch for that myself. Has a reputation for ground looping, and it really teaches you to notice the slightest movement in the heading and correct it immediately before it becomes a problem. It's brought the pilot's experience beyond the Navy wings initial training. Now, good to see him at the top push out. You notice how he didn't slow down that much as he's going into the vertical, and he wanted to get the nose down quick, because it's very easy to stall at the top of those and then swing back down into your own space. So it's good flying. Servicing the one and only Navy Wings Stinson Reliant 1. Those of you that are into your Second World War aircraft, you'll look at that and you'll go, wow, that looks like a Lysander. Isn't that a Lysander? It's just a Lysander. It does look a little bit like one. It's got that high wing, but once you get close up to it, you'll notice it's very, very different. It pretty much has the same role. It was used as communications and navigation training. It's got a Lycoming 4680 engine on board, range of about 850 miles, ceiling up at 21,000 feet. Cruises, as I said, about 120 miles an hour. That's a nice cruising speed. It was built by the Stinson Aircraft Company in Detroit in '43, and it's one of 573 aircraft that were transferred over to the Royal Navy under the lend-to-lease agreement during the Second World War. The American civil aircraft first appeared in 1933. The aircraft type was employed extensively by the Fleet era between 43 and 46 for navigation training and communications aircraft, many second line units. Most aircraft were retired to the United States Air Force after the war, and eventually became civilian registered. You can see why. Nice high wing, getting into the field, you can take rough landings. It's pretty big inside as well. It's a nice comedy leather seats in there, and there you go, you've got a very nice gentleman's carriage. So the Stinson Reliant, as I said, it's a high wing monoplane. Pilot, 3 passengers. Unwavering solid field, which is ideal suited. So with that high wing, it's got a very thick cord, so you can see the distance on the wing. It's got a very good loiter speed, so you can pull back on that throttle, just cruise along, eke out your fuel. Perfect for communications, battlefield communications, just moving around that space and being able to look down and get a bird's eye view. It's 81 years old in June this year. Not just going into a museum and looking at but to see them do that. This is what I was talking about, where you can slow the aircraft right down, and the aircraft just tunes along to a good view of what they're doing. If you do get a chance, have a look online. At the moment, they're very busy with the swordfishes. They actually have 3 swordfish. They've got a Supermarine Seafire, a Westland Wasp that we just saw, the Harvard, the Stinson. They've also got a Tiger Moth, a Seahawk, a Sea Fury, and 2 chipmunks on the books. If you're interested in becoming a Navy Wings supporter, the supporters have an engine room which keeps us going as a charity, and the price for less than a pint of beer, a glass of wine a month make a real difference. You can become a Navy Wings supporter, giving individuals an opportunity to share in the excitement of keeping these historical aircraft flying, and by making an annual subscription, the supporter will become part of the Navy Wings, enjoying the benefits of special supporter days, unique access to the aircraft, and regular views. So for the last time, it's the Royal Navy Stinson Reliant, part of the Royal Navy Wings Heritage Trust. Very nice. demonstrate and open up our show.